Welcome to the Michael Singer Podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Doctorate, master's. It takes a very, very long time, sometimes lifetimes, for people to comprehend the relationship with their mind. And that's the entire spiritual path. You can do intense practices and long meditations and drugs and all kinds of things and get some glimpse maybe, but you can't live there. You can't stay there until you learn how to come to peace with your mind, to learn how to understand and maintain your relationship with your mind. What is your relationship with your mind? You have one. Did you notice? You have one. You have a mind, a thinking, thought-creating mind. That's what it does. It's like an ocean has waves. The waves are nothing but the ocean. They just manifest as form out of the ocean, made of the ocean, and fall back into the ocean. So you have a thought. It gets created in the field of mind. Mind is like the ocean, and waves are like the thoughts. So thoughts get created in the field of mind, the substance, the essence of mind, and then they fade. Sometimes they're persistent, they keep coming back. Sometimes they just pass through. Sometimes they're pleasant. Sometimes they're very unpleasant. Have I said anything shocking yet? All right? That's your relationship with mind. What do you mean? You are the conscious being indwelling in here who is aware that what I just said is true. Everyone knows what I just said is true. They just don't know that they know. Well, why is that? What's the difference between knowing that you know and having it go on? That's a very, very important difference. If something distracts your consciousness so much that you're absorbed, addicted, focused on it so thoroughly that you only know it, you don't know that you're the one focusing on it. If I look at an event and it's unfolding, I'm here watching the event unfold. If all of a sudden it becomes tremendously dangerous, same distance from me, like a dog, let's say I don't like dogs, and a dog is coming and barking, and master's calling the dog from home behind me, and the dog comes running. While the dog's coming, I see the dog coming. And slowly my mind says, oh, there's a dog. But still, I'm seeing that. And then my heart goes, oh, I always get scared when I see a dog. Okay, it's gently building as the dog comes. And then all of a sudden, it comes just a little bit closer and panic takes place inside. Ever had it? Total fear, total overwhelming. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Oh, what? Well, guess what? I'm not there watching that. I am, otherwise I wouldn't know what's happening. But it's so strong, it's so challenging, it's so distracting that it pulls me into it. How do I know it pulled me into it? Because eventually I come back, don't I? Have you ever not come back? If you ever not come back, you wouldn't be here in this temple. There are people that don't come back. They get fixated, they get traumatized. No, seriously, there's children, it's so terrible accidents and stuff like that, and they don't come back. Where'd they go? Are they conscious? Yes, but they're so conscious of that car accident, of that event, of that death, of that mistreatment, whatever it is, that the consciousness got absorbed into it so thoroughly that it can't come back. It can't disengage from focusing on it. You have traumas, you have probably, but you don't have them all the time, but you do have thoughts in your mind that you have trouble getting rid of, don't you? You have thoughts in your mind that are persistent. Why did she say that? I can't believe she said that. What does she mean by that? And you're not there other than that. There's nothing else. You can't do math. You can't do this. You can't go to a party. You get sucked into the thought. You get lost in the thought. Who does? See, the you is always there, even when you talk about it. I'm so lost in these thoughts. Who is? You, the consciousness, the centered being, the essence of your being, your soul, gets distracted and pulled into particular thoughts, and not just negative ones. You do that with really, really positive ones. Oh my God, I love her so much. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't even handle it. I can't wait to see her again. Do some math. I can't. The difference is you like that, but you don't like getting sucked into the, oh, why did she say that to me? What am I going to do? I don't never love him ever again. I don't want to live. They're just waves in the mind. They're just thoughts being created in the mind. The trouble is you get sucked into them. If they don't stay with the negative ones, that's the strongest. You get sucked into them and they stay. And the longer they stay, the more you're sucked into them. You actually use the word I to represent that thought. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. I can't live anymore. That's a thought. But you're using the word I. That's terrible. That's an imposter. Okay? The I is the one who notices the thoughts. Your I is your consciousness. It's the only part that is consistent and stable and always there. It watches the mind say, gee, I really like this. And I watch the mind say, I don't like this at all. The same consciousness saw both. Yesterday, did you watch thoughts? A year ago, did you watch thoughts? 10 years ago, did you look in the mirror and see the reflection of your body in the mirror? Does it look the same now? No. Is it the same one looking? And you were 5, you looked in there. You just had 5-year-old's thoughts, 5-year-old's emotions, and you looked at a 5-year-old's body. Guess who looked? You. That's the essence of your being, your consciousness, not what you're conscious of. That's just, we talk about subject and object. The subject is the consciousness. The object is what you're conscious of. There are lots and lots and lots of objects, aren't there? How many? Count them. It's 700 billion, zillion, quillion objects that you can be conscious of. One consciousness. Okay? You are one. There's just one being back there, one conscious being, and it's been there the entire time. But it just looked at different things. Your thoughts are not the same as they were last week, 3 weeks ago, maybe even an hour ago. Something happened. It made your thoughts be a certain way. You almost got in a car accident, or somebody said something, or you thought somebody said something, or you thought that maybe someday somebody will say something. Am I right or wrong? This is a spiritual discussion. Why? Because you are what spirit is. That's what's meant by spirit, the consciousness, the self, call it whatever you want. The indwelling consciousness that is aware of the thoughts that are being created. Is also aware of something else, the emotions that are being created from the heart. The mind does not create emotions. It creates thoughts. If you tell me my heart hurts, show me. My heart hurts. You don't go up here, my heart hurts, hit your head. God, my thoughts are driving me crazy. You're right. Your thoughts are up here. Your heart is here. It's just energy patterns that are being created at different levels. And when your heart hurts, I told you, people sometimes write me and say, I want to talk to you on the phone. I will never do it. If I come and visit, can I talk to you about things? No. Why? Not because I don't love you, and not because I don't have the time. You don't want to talk to me with your problems. If you come to me and you tell me, my heart is killing me. Since my girlfriend or boyfriend left me, you just don't understand. It's driving me crazy. It hurts. It's like razor blades. It's torn inside. I'll listen for a little bit, not too long. And now I'll ask you a question. How do you know? Oh, that's not the question the therapist is supposed to ask. The therapist is supposed to ask, oh, when did it happen? How long have you known this person? Have you ever felt this before? I'll work with you like a nice person, right? Well, I'm not, okay? And so you telling me this, and I'll just at some point, I'll ask you, how do you know? How do you know that your heart hurts? That's the most important question anybody could ever ask you. Why? Because you are not a hurting heart. You're aware of the hurting heart. Were you ever aware that your heart didn't hurt before? Yeah, I felt love. Who did? Same you. There's one being in there aware of what's going on in there. And you're aware of thoughts, and you're aware of emotions, and you're aware of what comes in through your senses, aren't you? The trouble is it's so overwhelming. that you get lost. You don't stay centered, clear, established in the seat of self. Oh, it is a big one. Have you ever been established in the seat of self? That means I'm back here, and at all times I'm aware that I'm looking at a hurt heart. I'm looking at an open heart. I'm not thinking that. That's not established in the seat of self. That's still mine. If I'm looking at the picture, my mind doesn't say, oh, there's a picture. I just look at the picture. If I'm looking at a hurt heart, nobody has to say anything. I just see it. Just like seeing a picture. Are you capable of doing that? No. Why are you not? Because you're distracted by it. It's so strong that it pulls your consciousness to focus on it so completely, it's not focusing on anything else. And whatever you focus on is your world. Your world can't be that which you're not focusing on, that which you don't know anything about. Even though it's all there, the galaxies are there, everything's there, but you don't think about them at all. I do all these talks about the galaxies and how big God is, how big the universe is, and so on. And then you walk out here and never think about it again. Why? Because you're distracted by the things around you. You're distracted by your thoughts, you're distracted by your emotions, you're distracted by the form that's unfolding coming through your senses. You're still there. I told you once, and this is the truth. It is not that you have to find God. You have to stop leaving. You are seated in the highest seat that Christ sat in the highest seat that any enlightened master sat in, right now at this moment. That's where you sit. But what good is it if you're focusing on the stuff down there? You're focusing on your thoughts. You're focusing on your emotions. Whose emotions? Yours. Hers? No, mine. But there's 8.3 billion people running on the planet Earth. You focus on their emotions? No. I'm focusing on mine. How about everybody else's thoughts? No. I'm focused on my thoughts and my emotions. But I care about other people. I care about, in other words, it's still, I'm in here focusing on that outside. If you could just feel this once, you will have made such a giant step in your evolution. You are back here. Where? Whoa, man. Ask the masters where. Christ will tell you, my Father and I are one. Yogananda said when Yukteswar touched him and he went out, his whole body was all the galaxies of the universe. He was expanding at the speed of light in all directions. A chapter of my Experiencing Cosmic Consciousness. Okay? That's where the great ones go. They merge. You're there right now. Your consciousness is there, capable of experiencing everything. But it is distracted by so much your thoughts. And sometimes it's one thought. He doesn't love me anymore. Oh my gosh, she doesn't love me. What am I going to do? Well, instead of being the whole universe, let's be that. Wouldn't that be fun? No. But that's what happens, isn't it? You get pulled down. It's just the key. People don't realize that the word distraction is the most important word in your entire spiritual growth. Consciousness can get distracted, can't it? So you're doing something, you hear a noise, boom, consciousness goes over there. You have a thought, consciousness goes there. Try to read a book, turn to page 4. You realize you read a single thing. The words that said didn't get in there. Why? You were thinking something else. You were distracted by other thoughts. Consciousness can be distracted and pulled to other objects of consciousness. Okay? And that is what's happening. Like we talk about witness consciousness. Somebody actually wrote this morning. They said, is becoming established in the seat of self the same thing as self-realization, as enlightenment? What a beautiful question. I like that you asked it. I'm proud of him, right? The answer is no, it is not the same thing. Becoming established in the seat of self is a permanent state of witness consciousness. What does that mean? You're here, my hands back here, you're here, always here, noticing what you're watching. But you're still separate. You're still here. You're still this consciousness, separate consciousness. When you say I, you don't mean the whole universe. You mean me who's here watching her. You see, that sounds like a great spiritual state. It is. It's wonderful. I hope you can get there. That's true witness consciousness. Krishnamurti called it objective observation. You're able to sit there objectively noticing what's going on in front of you, inside and outside. That's not enlightenment. Enlightenment is when you are established enough in that seat, and you're not just noticing what's going on, but you're not being drawn into. You're so much at peace with everything that it doesn't distract you. If the mind says, oh my God, I wonder what I do, it just goes right through. You gotta let your thoughts go passing by. I told you, one of the great masters, Ramakrishna, fully enlightened master, was asked, does an enlightened being ever feel anger? You know what he said? Yes. But it's like riding on water. And people write me and say, are you saying riding or writing? I'm saying writing, like you do on a piece of paper. But instead of writing on a piece of paper, write on water. See who can read it. What difference does it make what you write on the water? Nothing. So it comes in and just passes right through. Nothing touches it. Has no effect. Doesn't do anything. Here's anger. Woo, hello. Here's love. Hi. Here's fear. Hi. Hello. It just goes right through. Just passes right through. So what difference does it make? It doesn't distract you. It didn't pull you into it. Whatever you were doing before, you're still doing after it happens. When you become that established, then your lower self, that which you're looking at, see, we say higher self, lower self. Higher self is you, the consciousness. Lower self is what you're conscious of. Not higher self is the nice part of you that you're conscious of. And the lower self is the not nice part of you that swears that you're conscious of. No, because both of those, you're down there looking at the darn thing. Non-duality. Okay? So now you're established in the seat of self. You don't get drawn down. You can still interact with the world. We'll deal with that later. But you're not getting drawn down. And if you're not getting drawn down, something very amazing happens. That you felt it sometimes, and some people feel it more, and some people live there. When you're not being pulled down, there's this upward pull. It's hard to talk about it. It's really there. It starts pulling you up. The same as that stuff pulled you down, there's something from behind you that starts drawing your consciousness back into it. You can go there sometimes in meditation. Sometimes you see a sunset that's just so beautiful that you just feel this rush of energy pouring up inside of you. It's way up beyond the heart. It's beyond the mind. It just starts pulling you up. When that becomes strong enough, it really starts to pull you up. And it's scary. Christ said you must die to be reborn. Now you're talking about what it means. It doesn't mean physical death. It means the willingness to let go of your sense of individuality. Forget what you're focusing on. The fact that you're even separate. And it just pulls you. That's God pulling you up. That's called the ascent. And it's just pulling you up. And great ones let go. Mayor Baba said, I was like, my consciousness was like a drop of water, separate, aware of what I was looking at. Then that drop fell into the ocean. Find it. Go try it sometime. Go out to the ocean, one drop of water. Go, where'd it go? It merged, became one. My Father and I are one. And that's what happens to your consciousness in the state of enlightenment. So don't ever use that word. People are, I'm enlightened. I had this high experience. No, you're not enlightened. Stop it. Behave yourself. All right? It's like that is the merger. That is the oneness. That's where Buddha went, where Christ went, where the great ones is they just merged. And then what's left here is I can't even talk about it. What ends up, there's still a body, but who's in there is not a drop anymore. It's the ocean. Somebody once asked Mayor Baba, fully enlightened master, he would just sit there and gone bye-bye. And they said, Baba, who are you? And he said, I was in the beginning before all else was created. I will be in the end after all else falls away. There was never a time I was not. There will never be a time that I will not be. That's what's in there. Namaste. Okay? Guess what? That's who you are right now. That's where you sit. I'm a nice Jewish yogi, and I love Christ's teachings. He said, as I sit by the throne of my Father, what's a throne? A seat of consciousness. As I sit by the throne of my Father, so you shall sit by my throne. And these things which I do shall do these and even greater things. Did you know he said that? I mean, there's your relationship with Christ. You are the same as me. So that seat is where you are. And you don't have to do anything to go there because you're already there. You have to stop leaving. Now you see why I teach it that way? You have to stop leaving. Why am I leaving? Because you're getting pulled down into the garbage of your personal self. He doesn't like me. Why don't people like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I don't want to give the talk. I might fail. Never stops, does it? Oh my God, I'm getting older. I look at my first lines in my face. I get varicose veins. Oh my God. Go on, have fun, because you won't. In Genesis, they talk about the fall from the garden. There it is. If you understand that, you understand more than anybody will ever understand about the fall from the garden. You're in the garden. That's where you are. That's how it's meant to be. That's where Adam and Eve were. merged with God, one with God, looking at everything, experiencing everything, but staying there. Then, boop, fell into what? Ego. Fell into self-knowledge. That's what that is. Fell into the I. I'm separate. I'm this body. No, you're not. You're the universe, and there's billions of bodies and insects and everything that there is. But you fell down. And what did it say when it said when you fall from the garden? Now you must work by the sweat of your brow to be okay. Anybody know anything about that? Anybody working by the sweat of their brow to try and people like them and get accepted and get married and be happy and have this and have the children behave like you want them to and have your hair not get frizzy? Come on. Anybody? Anybody working on it? Every single minute? And teachers who are very good, like I say, therapists, they help you from where you are, right? Will teach you how to get what you want so that when you work by the sweat of your brow, you at least get what you want. And that ain't what the enlightened beings teach you. They teach you, what are you doing? Instead of falling from the garden and finding how to be happy there and there, down there, that's all I'll do. I'll teach you how to get what you want, attract to yourself what you want, how to find somebody, how to win friends and influence people. In other words, now that you fell from the garden, fell from the ecstasy and total peace and joy and love of oneness with God. You forget oneness with God. You are God. My Father and I are one. Let's fall down, but learn how to be okay down here. To be at least you can't be always okay. You have to learn to cope. Right, what do you expect? Don't have your expectations too high. That's what they teach you, don't they? There are going to be good times, there are going to be bad times. Bull. There's just ecstasy. Satchidananda. That's the name for God in the great ancient scriptures of India. Satchidananda, eternal conscious ecstasy. Guess what? That's also the name for the self. That's who you are. Eternal conscious ecstasy. Not, well, you got to know what it's like to not be happy to find out that you're kind of relatively more happy now. And don't expect too much. Come on, you're not going to feel love all the time. Yes, you are. You feel so much love you can't even breathe all the time. No one will tell you that, will they? Because they don't know. That's why teacher can only teach you what they know. Your parents can only teach you what they know. Okay? So what we're talking about is, what is it like to be in there? And know what it can be like to be in there, and so do you, or you wouldn't be here. Okay? You have felt high at times. You have had ecstatic experiences. Sometimes you see something, you hold your child the first time, or that hug, oh my God, from someone you just love so much, and haven't seen them for a long time. You melt. Anybody ever melt? It's not easy, by the way. As wonderful as it is, it's not easy to melt, is it? Because your mind says, careful, not so fast. You could get hurt. In other words, I can't melt. Why? Because I'm already melted into my mind. I'm already melted into my mind and the fears that I built up inside of this package here. But sometimes you melt. You see a sunset, something, music can do it, can it? Can you go away? Because somehow music takes you away, and then you come back, right? Yes or no? All right? So you have that ability to not be concentrating on yourself. You call it entertainment. You go to a movie. If the movie is good, you spend 2 hours not focused on that garbage. But then it's right there when you come back. In India, supposedly, if you bathe in the Ganges, it's a very, very holy river, right? That, you get all pure, all your impurities, your karma, everything goes away, right? And the masters tell the story that you go down to the bank of the Ganges, you get ready to go in, and all your stuff jumps up on a little tree branch up above. And you go down, and when it comes back, it jumps back down. Doesn't it? It's so real. All right. So spirituality is first about understanding. You're the highest thing to walk the face of the earth. You're fine. You're beautiful. You're beyond fine. You're such a great being. It's incomprehensible. If you reach the state of evolution of being a human being, and I think all of you did, no armadillos running around in here, okay, you are capable of that state, period. Every single human being is capable of self-realization, of realizing who they are. What is the nature of self, of God realization? Okay? Now you say, well, if that's who I am, it sounds like a lot of fun to be in ecstasy all the time. Internally, again, Christ teaching what? Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of God. He's talking about this energy that's inside of you. You don't just get high or feel love or get things from outside, bread alone. There's all this Shakti. There's all this Shakti, spirit Shakti pouring inside of you. You get fed by that. Then you're whole, complete within yourself. Every one of you are that. No, but I'm depressed. You're not depressed. You're staring at a depressed psyche. Do you see the difference? The self can't be depressed. It's ecstatic. It's perfect. It's ageless. has no birth, has no death, never will, never did. It's just, that's what is. Mary Rose said, there's never a time I was not, never a time I will not be. Where did God come from? That, wrong question. All right, that's still your dualistic mind thinking there's beginning and end. There's just that ecstatic consciousness. Always was, always will be. It's just what is, and you are that. Why don't I experience that? I told you. Because you're distracted by staring at this thing, at your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your world. All right, now, why did it get that way? Why would I choose, if I'm ecstatic, to come on down and do this? And why do I get pulled down into that? And your stuff inside, if I talk about it like this, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yet, your stuff inside is totally different than hers. What your mind is saying is different than what her mind is saying. What your mind is saying now is different than what your mind said 5 minutes ago. What is making it be like that? Like oceanographers study the ocean. They know why the waves are the way they are. You take a computer model, it could model every single wave. You want to go surfing? Go get AI and ask what's going to happen to the waves. All right? It's got to do with the depth of the ocean. It's got to do with the wind. It's got to do with all kinds of forces that cause the thing. Every single thought you have can be figured out exactly the same way. They're not personal, they're not special. They have causes, just like the waves in the ocean do. What are the causes of your thoughts? That's a nice discussion, and it doesn't take volumes of psychology. It's the simplest thing in the whole world. I know where your thoughts come from. You have had experiences in your life. Every one of you have experiences all the time. They come in through your senses, and they come into your inner being. That's where you experience them, inside. You don't experience them outside. You experience them inside. You all do know that, right? They have to come in. That's why you have a nervous system. That's why you have senses. If you experience them outside, I'm out here. Why do I need sensors? The computer needs sensors so it can pick up the outside world, turn it into messages, digital messages, and then pass them back to the CPU, back to the computer. You're exactly the same. You have eyes, ears, nose, throat, touch, sensors. You have sensors just like a computer. Why? Because you're not out here. You're in there. And so you need something that will pick up this outside world, that's made of this outside world. Your body is made of it. And when it picks up the vibrations and stimulations and colors and shapes and things of the outside world, it doesn't digitize them, but it might as well. It turns them into nerve impulses. That's the same thing as a digital network. And it passes it back to your central brain, which is your CPU. It all comes back there. And you're back here. And I'm not going to get into it, but I have to say it to you. Your brain is not your mind. They don't know that, and I'm not going to argue with them. They haven't gone deep enough inside. They're looking at it from outside. So they think that your thoughts are your brain. No, your brain is the central nervous system. It is the central that gets all the messages and can process and get them all together. And mind is a higher level of energy. It doesn't belong on a physical plane. And mind gets the stimulation from the brain, from these impulses. Like if you drop a leaf in water, the leaf is not the water, but it causes ripples. And the ripples are the water, okay? So physiology causes ripples on a higher plane, which is what your thoughts are. And your consciousness is further back watching the thoughts, okay? So basically, you're in here, the outside comes in, and it stimulates the mind. Sometimes everything has its nature. That's something. Everything has its nature. As a Buddhist teacher. What do you mean? A rattlesnake, when it comes in, the snake doesn't come in, but the whole vibration does. The experience does. Okay? Is not the same when it comes in and feel the same as a butterfly. I would use that example. If a butterfly goes flying around you, it creates a different vibration inside than the rattlesnake running out there. That's natural. That's not mind. That is the true vibration. Everything has different vibrations. Everything has its nature. A storm feels totally different than a beautiful sunny day, doesn't it? It's supposed to. It does. It's nothing. It's just real. It's real. So it comes in and you experience it. Good. You're here to have experiences. A storm is an experience. Sunny day is an experience. Rattlesnake is an experience. Death is an experience. Birth is an experience. Everything is an experience. Somebody dissing you is an experience. Somebody telling you they think you're the most beautiful being that ever lived is an experience. Right. They're all experiences. And each one has its own vibration. Can you handle that? No, I cannot handle it. I can only handle certain experiences, vibrations, when they come in. They come in, they feel good. That's nice. I like it. It's a party. And they come in, they feel low. There's a low vibration. And no. Now, the question is, listen carefully. From a spiritual point of view, is it no, this vibration shouldn't exist? Or is it no, it can exist, but I can't handle it? Or is it yes, it exists and I can handle it? Thank you. It passed through. They all pass through. Doesn't mean you don't experience them. It's an experience you had. It made you richer. Here, you're going to go hiking in Himalayas or some mountain, and there are snakes. Would you like a guide who never saw a snake in their life? Or would you like a guide who has seen thousands of them and knows how to deal with them? Okay, who are you? How do you learn without having the experience? So the experience happens, it comes in, and it pours into your ocean of consciousness. You now are an experienced being. You're a seer of snakes. You're a seer of butterflies. But if you like the butterfly and you get all upset because it flew away, you didn't handle it very well. If it happens enough times, you catch on. Oh, butterflies come and they go. Is that okay with you? Yeah, what the heck? You're now an experienced butterfly experiencer. Is that not what's happening in your life with every single experience? Not did you experience it, you did experience it, and we've been discussing it. Can you handle the experience? That's the question. Not did it happen. Can you handle it? What does it mean, can I handle it? It means, is it free to come in and merge into your being? You saw such a beautiful sunset and you said, oh my God, I felt like I was in the presence of God. It touched me to the depth of my being. Like those words? They're right. They're literally expressing with words what you experienced. It touched me to the depth of my being. It came all the way in. Those are nice experiences, aren't they? Oh my God, I just loved him so much. And when he came back and hugged me, I just melted and I lost myself. I just felt like I merged. Yes, you did. Because it came all the way in. There was no resistance. There was nothing stopping it. And it was a very whole experience. It's phenomenal. Art can do that to you. If you like it, if you don't like it, it does the opposite. See, you're in the way. So basically, if all of light can come in and go in, you're not distracted by it. You didn't get pulled out of your seat of consciousness. It came up to you, but you still experienced it. It's not like you're renouncing life. You're not renouncing experiences. That's a total misconception, this renouncing stuff. All right, you know what you renounce? That which you can't handle. If you can handle it, why would you bother renouncing it? People could say things or do things or run around naked and just stay where you were before. No difference. Clothed, naked, no difference. 5-year-olds that way, 3-year-olds that way. Okay? It's like you can experience things and they don't pull your consciousness away. Then why would you renounce them? You renounce that which screws you up. You try to not have the experience, all right? Better to be able to handle the experience. It just comes in and passes right through. There's no difference, nothing. It leaves you where it found you, serene, content, at peace. All right. So stuff comes in, it passes through. But that's not where we're at. Where are we at? Stuff comes in, and there are vibration rates. That's all. Think of everything as a vibration rate, just like the electromagnetic spectrum. Everything vibrates at a different rate. He's got bad vibes. She's got good vibes. There you go. Congratulations. Back to the 60s. So it comes in and you feel it. You do feel it inside. Can you handle it? If you can handle it, it means it comes in and you experience it at the depth of your being. What if you can't handle it? What does that mean? This is so deep. What does it mean? I can't. Have you ever used the word, I can't handle this? So it comes in, you experience it, but you don't want to experience it. The consciousness, it's conscious, and there's this resistance. It comes from very deep inside. And so you try to not experience it. You got to go very slow. This is so important. This is it, by the way. You try to not experience it, but you are experiencing it by definition. If it didn't happen, you wouldn't be experiencing it. So it did happen. You can't make it not have happened. You can't make what not have happened. Now what you're experiencing. The very fact that I'm experiencing means it happened. Comes in, I don't want to experience it. Well, I can't make it not have happened, so now I'm into psychology. I suppress it. Ooh, that's Freud. What does that mean, I suppress it? I use my will. I have will in here. I can move things around in here, can't I? I can push things away. I can cling to things. You have hands in there. That's your will. It's a power of consciousness. I can't get into everything. It's in the new book, Living Untethered, goes in very deeply, all right? Focused consciousness is the power of will. Just like focusing the sunlight. There's sunlight everywhere. Hold a magnifying glass anywhere. See what happens to the sunlight. It burns what's below it. So focused consciousness is what will is. The fact that you focus that energy of God, that energy of your consciousness down to a given point takes power. Chit Shakti, conscious energy, what we're talking about. So you're in here now, this thing comes in and you don't like it. Amazingly, I don't like it, so I focus on it. Well, if you don't like a sound, you listen to it. Ew, I can't stand that color. Look at it. What are you doing? If you don't like it, don't look at it. You can't not. It distracts your consciousness. So your consciousness focuses on this thing that came in, and your focus and resistance pushes it away. Pushes the event away? No, pushes your experience of the event. Where does it go? Go study psychology. All of psychology is right there. That's where yoga touches psychology, where spirituality touches psychology. You're in there, that's spiritual. You push it away. You just built what we call a samskara, a pattern of energy that will stay inside of you. I told you this way, energy cannot stand still. Energy is moving, always. There's laws of physics. Energy is moving. But you just put a wall in front of that and moving energy to try to push it away so it doesn't come back in further. What happens? The energy starts cycling around itself in front of that wall. Now it's still moving, isn't it? I'm circling around, but it's staying in one place. That's the only way that energy can stand still. It doesn't stand still. That's why a circle is the most amazing structure, form in the universe, because energy can stay in one place, even though it's moving. That's a samskara. That's a pattern that you stored inside of you that will be there your entire life until you let it go. It will not go away. You'll have dreams about it. Somebody will say something. It'll come back up, remind you, Freud, mommy, what did mommy do? It? Every single thing. Took your blankie away too soon. Come on, you're 67 years old. How are we dealing with a stupid blankie? Because it's still in there. You know, high school is still in there, isn't it? And the sister's in there, and what mommy did, and the divorce is in there. Isn't every single thing in there? You don't want to think it doesn't. You think you got rid of it. You didn't get rid of it. How to get rid of it? Let it pass through. That's the only way it goes. You let it go. You let it pass through. It's on its way through the universe. Here it comes, coming in, passing through. Hi, bye-bye. You still experienced it. You still have knowledge. You still became greater because you experienced it, but it didn't get stuck inside of you. What you have done is held every single thing that ever bothered you in your entire life inside of you. Haven't you? Even tiny things. The driver in front of you didn't use his blinker and you almost hit him. You told everybody for the rest of the day, for 2 days, you dreamt about it at night. The tiniest thing. Somebody walks by, you say, hey, Sally, she doesn't say anything. Oh my God, that's staying in there for a while. Yeah, Sally, I don't even know why you talk to her, right? I don't want to talk to you. You're friends with her. Oh my God. Go, I don't advise it, but go back to a high school reunion and see the people that you were with in high school. You're like, you've been out of high school 30 years. I guarantee you it's all coming right back up. The ones you liked, you want to be with. The ones you didn't like, you don't want to be with. They're not the same people. You understand that, okay? That's just hilarious. Even what they said once to you will come back up. Pay attention. This is why your mind says what it says. This is why it's what it is. So this stuff is stored inside of you. I always ask you, here's the big, tough question. If you store every single thing that ever disturbed you inside of you, what's it going to be like inside? Disturbed. And it is, isn't it? You say, no, I'm not always disturbed. Yeah, because you work your butt off to get exactly what matches your stuff and doesn't hit the bad stuff. Go hang out with people who always hit your stuff. You say that. No, I can't stay with him. He hits my stuff. Talk to me. I love it. You actually know what's going on, but you listen to that. I'd rather keep my stuff than have to deal with this person who hits my stuff. Take a breath. Now you understand spiritual growth. So you store all that stuff in there. And therefore, this is what's happening. There's this Shakti always in there. This energy that's trying to merge. It's always in there. You don't need Kundalini awakening or anything like that. Don't give me that. It's always in there trying to push up. That's the nature of the Shakti. She wants to go back to Shiva. It's trying to merge with God. I'll give you an example. The Hoover Dam stopped the Colorado River at a certain point back in the 40s or 30s, whenever it was they built that thing. Guess what? That river is still trying to blow past that dam every single second, right or wrong. You take a couple of bricks out of the dam, boom, water comes flying through. That Shakti is always trying to push up. That's the real understanding of yoga. It's always trying to push up, but it can't because it's blocked. And if it tries to push it up, you push it back down. No, I told you I don't like when you talk to me. Like, stop it. Let me have a moment. Okay, I'm ready. You pushed it back down, didn't you? Now I'm okay. No, you're not. You just pushed the whole vibration back down. So it tries to push up, and the stuff is always coming, trying to push up. And that's why your thoughts, I'm going to say the nicest thing about mind I've ever said. Your mind is actually your friend. Your mind is trying to give you a release mechanism of this garbage you stored in there. It's trying to push it up. And so the mind starts talking about it, just like you talk to your friends about things that bother you. It's releasing energy that got blocked down there. That's why the mind is the way it is. That's why somebody gets fixated on something. That's why people that had their trauma, it just keeps being there. It took over the whole mind. It took over the whole system. It's PTSD and all that kind of stuff. They had a traumatic experience. Now what? Now the whole being is absorbed in that because it's trying to release it. It's not punishing you. It's saying you won't let it release, so at night I'll come up in your dreams. Come on, there's all young and everything makes perfect sense once you understand the relationship between spirituality and psychology. It's trying to push up. You blocked it down there. And that's why your mind's saying every single thing it's saying. That's why you like what you like and dislike what you don't like. You like the things that manage to make it around your stuff. Oh God, I feel so good around him. Oh my God, we're so perfect. Yeah, we'll see. Because it's going to hit your stuff at some point, isn't it? Which one of you ever had an absolutely perfect relationship for more than 5 minutes? It's funny, but it's really not all that funny. Because now what you do, this stuff comes up and you're okay under certain circumstances because the stuff coming in now hits the stuff that's in there. And so you try to manipulate everybody and everything in your life to match your stuff, to match what's stored down there. And when it matches, you feel good. When it doesn't match, you feel terrible. And it really doesn't match when it hits your stuff. No, man, you freak out. People say to me, but I get this knot in my stomach and my heart hurts so bad. Of course it does. Because that stuff got pushed up and it's poison. It's terrible. You store it terrible down there. It's going to hurt when it comes back up. Well, what's the answer? Not control of mind. Releasing of your stuff. Mind control is not spirituality. Mind control is I'm strong enough to suppress this stuff that would have come up by itself. And I'm going to work on it and make sure that I cannot have that disturbing me. Well, I tried that. That was my early path, all right? And then you realize, why is it even doing that? And why do I have to fight it? Why don't I go down and find out why it's doing that? And then you find out there's all this garbage down there. And why don't I get rid of the garbage? Because it's hard. Yeah, I know. But it's worth it. You get rid of that garbage, now it's not pushing the garbage out because it's not down there. Now what happens? The Shakti comes up. Now you start feeling. Master once wrote, or somebody wrote it, oh, what hast thou done to me? Wave upon wave of ecstasy, saturates me day and night, throng upon throng of joy. That's what it feels like when the stuff's not blocking it. You know what it feels like when the stuff is blocking it. It radiates the blockage. It's what's coming up into your mind and into your heart. Now you have to work to try to be okay. Like the Genesis said, you have to struggle to manipulate, control everything so that you can feel some joy. You can feel some joy when everything lines up right. If everything's just right, you're open. You open. Sometimes you can be open, right? Sometimes you be closed. That's what's determining open and close. You're not. You notice that? I think I'll close. It just closes. What's love at first sight? Gee, I think the next person I meet, I'll have love at first sight. Good luck. All of a sudden you meet somebody, boom, it opens. It's not physics, it's not chemistry, it's some scars. They move around down there. And I'll tell you a secret, and I can't go into it. Have you ever noticed that you can be a totally different person at different times with different people? Have you ever noticed you can be a totally different person at different times with the same person? Marriage, divorce, like, dislike, love the job, hate it. Come on, that's just the dance of that garbage you have down there. Sometimes stuff lines up. and is able to open. And that's wonderful. Sometimes it doesn't line up. It's not so good. Sometimes it really lines up perfect to hit your stuff, and you can't stand it. You can't stand it. I have to get out of here. I can't. I used to love him, but I can't. I just can't stand it. I don't know what it is. Well, something must have happened at times in that relationship, and you said, I can handle this, and you didn't handle it, and you push it down there, and now it starts to build up, and all of a sudden you're kind of tolerating the person, and then you kind of can't tolerate the person. Come on, am I saying anything you don't know anything about? Okay, that's what's going on. Now do you understand? All right, now you understand mine. Now you understand your thoughts. You understand your heart. That's why it is. If you want to, you can go out there and spend the rest of your life struggling with every single person you meet, every single situation you have, every single situation you will have, and every situation you did have that will never change anyways, to try and be okay. You will never, ever truly be okay. You may be relatively. Psychology uses a word that I think is a 4-letter word, cope. No, that's a dirty word to a yogi. Cope means I'm leaving this stuff down here, but I'll learn to live with it. Okay? No. What would it be like, instead of trying to manipulate everybody and everything that ever will happen to you or is happening to try to be okay, to take that same effort and say, if I cleanse in here, I don't have to do that. I can be okay with people, even if they don't like me. You can love people that don't like you. Christ said, love your enemies. Like I said, Christ was a yogi. There's a line in the Bible that says, it was said to you, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, but I say to you, resist not evil. Why? Why resist not evil? Because even that will pass through you. But if you fight it, it stays inside of you. Let the dog go by, not keep it at bay, because you'll be keeping it at bay forever. Everything will pass through you. Do you understand that? The great saints, that's what they are. Everything comes in and passes through. They don't have to pick. You're capable of that, but not with all this stuff in here. So your entire spiritual journey is not about manipulating life and making it be the way that fits you. You'll do that. I have to be fair, I'm realizing, right? You're going to do that. But at least do this too, all right? And then you'll find out that this works. Letting go works. What do you mean? If it comes up and it's not pleasant, what do? Well, you can push it back down. You can go out and manipulate the world so it doesn't hit it. Good luck. Or you can decide, I can handle this. I couldn't handle it before, but I can handle it now. I can handle that my parents got divorced 20 years ago and not have to never talk to mommy again. I couldn't handle it then. I was just a kid. But I can handle it now. What do you mean? You go see mommy, go home. That's a good place to hit your stuff. Go home, and it starts coming up. Now, what letting go means is I want it to come up. I don't want it to be in there. I do not want to spend the rest of my life screwed up because I couldn't handle the different situations that happened in my life. I want to let them go, right? But it's big. You're not going to let the big ones go, not right away. No, you're not. That's why I teach the way I teach, all right? You don't know how to let the fact that it's hot go. You complain about it all the time. Oh my God, it's so hot. Well, if you can't handle the fact that it's hot out, you walk from your car to the house, air-conditioned car, air-conditioned house. Oh my God, I couldn't even breathe. It was unbelievable. Why is it so hot? I'm going to move. That's going to all go in there because it's hot? Yes. So you can't handle the heat. You can't handle the driver in front of you. You can't handle what somebody said. You can't handle what somebody didn't say. You can't handle what you thought that somebody might say. All right? Okay. Maybe we need to work on that. Instead of shoving it back down or making sure nothing touches it, be cautious, why don't we start practicing being able to handle things? Just like you practice the piano, you practice tennis or a sport. You're not good at it to start with. Guess what? You're not good at letting go. Very few of you are good at letting go. Some of you are better now because you practice the teachings, all right? And if you're not good at a sport, you're not going to get good at it unless you practice. You're not good at piano, you suck at it if you don't practice at all. If you don't practice letting go little things like the heat or like the person that said something or like the driver, if you can't let go of that, practice letting it go through. Why? He didn't use his blinker. Just let it go. Not shut up. Not beep, beep. No, let it go. Let go of what? Let go of the fact that you couldn't handle it. Let go of the fact that it hit your stuff and it feels uncomfortable. You have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Look at that. We just watched the Olympics, right? 4 years, these people kill themselves. I mean, literally day and night, pushing, weightlifting, everything. Do you think they feel good all the time? No, look what boxers go through getting ready for a match. They have to let go. They have to put up with the pain, don't they? No pain, no gain. It's the same thing inside. You stored the stuff with pain. It's going to come back with pain. But what do I do? Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is a lower thing. You experiencing it, can you be comfortable experiencing it even though it's uncomfortable? And the answer is yes, you can. You just have to learn to get out of the way. Don't stand in front of the bull. Step aside. Let it go through. Let things go through. Let things go through. How? Somebody say, I'm not good at that. Then get good at it. Practice. I know you're not good at it, but that's why you practice. And just every day you have an opportunity to practice. No, every hour, no, every minute. There's stuff coming up in there. Either the outside stimulated it or the inside did it by itself. Auto-generated problems. Yes or no? All right? Let go. How do you let go? Don't resist. How do you not resist? Relax. I don't know how to go any further. You resist it because you don't like it. Let go. Oh my God, it feels like this. I'm there. My hands are in front of me doing this, right? Now I let go. They're behind me. I let go. I just open my hands and let go. It will pass through. You let go for a minute, you push it back down because it's hard. You're not used to experiencing uncomfortable things, okay? Until you're used to experiencing uncomfortable things, you will stay uncomfortable. The moment you're used to experiencing uncomfortable things, they won't be there anymore. Literally. You can handle the divorce. Why do people say they got divorced? All they do is think of it all the time and remember that they would go by a restaurant they used to go to. Oh my God, I have to move. People are told, move. You can't live in the town anymore because you can't handle the places you used to be. Okay, fine, move. You'll be moving a lot. Okay? Or practice letting go. Make it a game. It's an internal video game. It's challenging. Can I handle this? Can I let go? Can I relax in the face of what I used to push back down? And just start with the simple things. Don't start with the big things. And as you learn how to do it, just like you learn the piano through the scales, as you learn how to do it, you can play Twinkle Twinkle. Then you can play a little Beethoven or something, right? You just get better at it. And eventually you'll be like everybody else that writes me and says, oh my God, it works. Of course it works. All over the world, we get all these emails, all right? And they all say the same thing. My God, my whole life has changed completely. I learned I don't have to keep this stuff in here. I can let go. I almost got divorced and now we're getting along fine. And the kids and my job, I used to, I didn't like my boss. And now, okay, I let go. Fine, the bosses the way they are, right? They criticize me a lot. So what? And next thing you know, you can keep your job. Next thing you know, you can keep your marriage. Isn't that interesting? Amazing. And all you did was let go of what the resistance you're building inside yourself. And then you'll start to feel this energy. And when you start feeling the energy, it feels very different. Then it's like, ooh, I like that. I like that. This is worth letting go. Like women go through pain in childbirth. I don't know, but I've heard. They go back for seconds and thirds. Oh, that's amazing. Who are they? Why? It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, this is way worth it. It's way beyond worth it to be open all the time and to never have to close. Now what happens, and I'll stop. Not only did that benefit you, it benefits every single person you'll ever interact with. Because you're not pushing your stuff back on them or pushing their stuff back on themselves. You hear me? All of a sudden you become a light, a beacon of light. You have to do anything, by the way. Just be there. And every single thing that others would have fought with and resisted and manipulated, doing that, all the energy now transmutes. It comes into you and goes up. It comes into you and goes up. You change everybody. You change every single thing. Just your existence changes everything. You're a very great being. Work on these things. Jagrative.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.